Debbie, meba. Mami ni Dr. Philip Yaw Bannor eni nkomo. Wono ye Registrar General at the Health Facilities Regulatory Agency. He from for now ubo wo mudin wo mo pay pa na me ne be kasa no. Do akotimeka good morning.
Good morning, Ohene.
Na empombo ko de.
Nyame adom.
Okay.
Omo ye, mo so e.
Erade de yem kwa. First of all, Bayan Kasa and Dra, you advertise and pay Nankasa Oba Studio, but oh my etias when you're emergency. Joy didn't come on or Ahomaso. Yeah, that's so. Okay. At the other kind, Ridge Hospital, the SC war for the last 3 days in here. Ye di home come abeto weni mu ana.
Me patcho, ya Ahomaso na mati, but complain Nankasa de Emma. I'm person me for akwanya so. I'm a more chief for no helpful na. BBC have filed complaint. Complaint in the boapa. Ebikwa wunnim enye obuseni no, but e bia wadamfo ana onipa no ne kwa sorry. Ana so unnim hu bi no file complaints me esunasi. Minim se me nia we e call hospital say that say ni say na aye no. They no akeke no one file. But no any email at hefra.gov.gh. Remember, and believe me, we ask questions. Until no file complaint. And we're the first in America.
Okay. But Doc, two boys in Achemo. Hefra, Mojuma Moye, Health Facilities Regulatory Agency. Mojuma Pa Moye in saying.
You be that say, and say, yeah, near mommy inside. Before I been my hospital be a license, making sure say Obia or Yegma or Obiano on the mention is qualified or they have qualified people to work there. Or a doctor, you check, make sure a doctor, or a pharmacist, you check it, or a radiographer, radiologist, ultrasonographer, nurse, midwife, laboratory technicians. Omunina, you check Omunina against a registry. Show those who have graduated and have the license, some between young Wajuma. Okay. That's the first thing we check. The second thing we check is making sure that baby are motion nipano. That infrastructure no, it is fit for purpose. What them in say ICU or more oxygen idea or more gas or operating room table anesthesia machine. So we check all the infrastructure, and then we go to the last is the equipment, X-ray machine, ultrasound machine. ECG machine, all those things we check, making sure that they are all working. So in broad terms, we check the people, the infrastructure, and the equipment. That's what we do before my license. Now after my license, every year, I'm running say, as a hospital, they making sure that the BI correct. Doctor now, only the image boarding crata. Doctor no didn't image boarding crata and license on one of that for one, and next one that's one. Pharmacists and so on. I'm going to be for I said you only crata that be shown. And every year be an yes.
Okay. Now, Sergio Mano, Muya private hospitals and including public ones, you know.
In fact, we do mainly all the hospitals.
Okay.
All the hospitals in Ghana. That is what the law says. But the government hospitals are the most difficult ones to deal with. I'll confess to you. Because government hospital no be at the I said they are the money and when I watching and you'll be at there.
Okay.
I'm buying any there. In government hospitals impose facilities. Government facilities in general and yes hospital Bakuna able to all government facilities in there. They are problems to regulate.
I see. But how do we regulate? Knowing very well, sir, one more problem because Obia no only up because they are buying the code of conduct for health professionals and practitioners, monitoring and evaluation when it comes to their work. A part of it from Mojuma Moyana.
Absolutely, we are the regulator, so it is part of that work. But Selbenya will be, and I'm going to say, file a complaint. Because complaining gives us the chance to go and ask specific people certain questions.
Okay.
But overall, general, it's what they tell you. And there's specific questions that you're supposed to ask. Do you have the administrator in place? Are you having regular meetings? Show evidence that name a bind or taking care of. They can show all of that to you. They can show those are very, structured questions. We need to know we can't audit things. but we can only ask if there's an audited financial report. And they'll say, yes, one is on file. That's the extent of your work. But a complaint allows you to ask specific questions. Sometimes even hire a lawyer to lead the investigation. If you want something specific has happened now, please go to info.hefra.gov.gh and please file a complaint or mail it to Hefra, mail it to Registrar, Hefra, Ministry of Health at the Ministry Accra. You can also mail and to come.
I see. Now, let's assume in a clear case study, as you are raging, so Mammy, I was training Quano A. Mebusiani, na me person me file complain about medical negligence. A bedroom when you more, Momra Modia Jumano, a dear Namo bet me a fa side.
And I can yes, be investigation of our own. And if we agree with you now, we can actually assist you and your lawyers. And it can even be witnesses for them or whatever in filing a case in court. But you need to file a complaint so that we can also help you with the investigation. At least, lawyers and answer the officer, you have an independent view as what happened. It also allows us to find the facility. And your region planning is applicable to anything, lab, nabeco. We deal with complaints all the time. There are complaints about COVID lab. You go on where you catch and say, oh, why do you know, you're positive, you can't travel. The same day occur, baby, you go to different places. And then, yes, sir, into Philippines, they were, so we have a lot of complaints. There are complaints against some of the famous hospitals in the country. And one hospital, I just say, and the pay you more fails, but anywhere you go, lab, clinic, health center, maternity home, chips compound, any health facility in the country at all, file a complaint. They come under HEFRA, no matter what anyone says.
I see. But Doc, who can say Jumano Air with the public sector hospitals? No, a buy hospital be no, either a chief executive announce administrator or that hospital no. So in instances like this, no, one more year has no. I believe say Mubet me hold you more responsible for everything a basis your hospitals, right?
Yes, when you file a complaint, because complaint will name an incident. And then the incident, and the bench says, "Oh, more mind your ye," and now no more negligent. Then you can file specifically against that individual. You can also make a general recommendation out of an investigation. Maybe a comma, maybe a Ghana Health Service Director General, and answer the Minister for Health. Say, hey, we've had a lot of complaints about a certain facility, and therefore maybe we think that you should effect a change in one or two places. Those are all general recommendations, but they must be based on fact finding. And there was a time would be a big case. People more hospital. And the third case now will be a ear surgery, brain surgery, na equipment, not say a MRI. All those things. Only back to call TV as a radio. Oh, yeah, that is but the person file a complaint. File a complaint. You need to file a complaint, and then we will work with your advocate. And then you are not doing only for your loved one, you are doing for including all of us. You never know when anyone will be.
Yes, but no, in filing an official complaint, no, the evidence and as the proof of evidence, becomes difficult. For instance, Obiko or Kwa was here in operation Moja Tuno. Doctor Nakachan say weight, of the babies, enya mature enough. On train kakra and then delay and listen money washing kwa. Now, as a layman person, mean a technical person, no. When it comes to the burden of proof, even at the law court, how do I prove and say a dear doctor Nino and a health practitioner no a year, and I causing me the loss of life of my sister and my loved one?
Very good. That's the more reason why I should file a complaint. Because complain, all the records, and we can demand the records that way. We can also have because second opinion. Or sometimes even a third opinion. You can give a couple other doctors to also review the case for us. to see say if that judgment was the right judgment. Sometimes it's the right judgment. Sometimes it is not the right judgment. So where there's a difference in opinion, then you lead the evidence that way. Because right now I'm waiting for a very good case about blood.
Okay.
Because right now they hold drones. If the hospital requests for blood, from what I have been told by the drone home delivery, they say in less than 1 hour they can deliver blood. What the picture now? It is this day and age medium. Yeah, person about is a service approach or bow and now Bema and now be actually because there was no blood. Unless it be an accident and so many people were involved, and you can't get enough blood. Say all the emergencies depend on how many people are involved. As I said, you 1 or 2 deliveries now is we know say Bani Adina. And we should plan ahead on the mission now. And then as for blood issue, now that we have the drones, we are looking forward to it. The drone people can also deliver essential medication like civil life, snake bites, more venom, deliver even vaccines are cry for COVID. They're delivering all across the country on the mission. And but you don't accept it. Say, oh, nothing will happen. Something is happening. Believe me, when you start asking people questions, people sit up and they say, hey, as some we see, every funny when you say by every people will sit up. Do the surely complain. That's the one I can tell you.
Okay. But me miss away my mandate, does it form part? Some will bet me as sanction a particular health practitioner and also say a particular health facility. After say beer, some of these things have been complained to officially. Now more initiative investigation into such matters.
Very good question. That part of the law, it depends on which lawyer you ask. Some says the HEFRA can impose a fine or a sanction. Some would tell us that you have to go through court. So as I speak, there's a 2-3 days. I got a very encouraging phone call. I won't say it on air about how best to expedite that part. Now here we may get 1 or 2 lawyers from 1 or 2 places. They will help us make that decision quickly. That part is I'm beginning to get some good feedback. No. But some say we can impose a fine on our own, and some say no, we don't have that authority. We must go through adjudication. But in any event, the other person we are accusing or have the right to respond to the accusation or the thing before we act. Why? And pick one hospital and one facility is happening all across the country. And the regulatory system, we need to beef it up. We've arrested people that nothing has happened to them, and that is the pain I have. It pains me every time I wake up, say, if I arrested people, some of them twice, and the system has not dealt with them. It's very demoralizing. But we haven't given up. We keep working, and then hopefully, say there will be now. There's work to be done. 90% of our cases, people don't have the license to do what they are doing, and proving license issue is not difficult at all, because we do our license 3 or 4 places, and that's a HEFRA and a medical and dental council. Or nursing and midwifery council, be a nurse, be a midwife. That's the only place in Ghana you have a license. It proves is that license and not only license. Very easy to be in the ground. You don't need an experienced lawyer. If that's what we need to prove it anywhere, because one of us have issued to like operating a pharmacy without a pharmacist license. There's only one place to get the pharmacy council. Or the general, and labs. There's only one place to get a license. It's either from HEFRA and from Allied Health Professions Council.
Okay.
So if you and Rabba say, we need to assume a senior license. To me, anyway, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think there's a difficult case to prove. All we need is someone to help bridge that issues now. And the thing is that it's not a threat to say law. But that is what is good for all of us on the mention. And never boy in and I who said the more we man almost in ye. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that never be better ye.
Okay. Doc, mame and now was but lastly, Pachom office never him. Obi a wo tie no oba mo office a won ko hemfa.
Old Minister of Health. Your new Minister of Health all rich. Listen, yeah, one I old Minister of Health. Oba ministry sir. They be a Crown Sports Stadium. Oba on my be a post office no one. The one I have right here office no. It's a big sign on the building. Hefra. The complaint there will be another. But and as you go online and see Hefra, go ahead on main page now. It say contact us. Information we can so on. But you can also email us. We will get it. And just put your name and your phone number, and we will respond to you.
Okay. Okay, Doc. Mate. Mame na was ya do pay.
That's it, bro.
Ete ya be din komo BM. Dr. Philip Yaw Bannor ono here Registrar General at the Health Facilities Regulatory Agency. Hefra Adam no edi enkomo no nti ono na epanyi pa hospitals no wo mo na regulate